Yeah. So how's the project, bro? Like any updates from last week?
Yeah, everything is fine. Like I built already about 10 reports by myself, and I sent it to my customers.
Okay.
All of them were satisfied. All of them provide me useful feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it. So my next step, try to bit automate it because I spent about 3 to 6 hours to build one report, and it's tough because yeah, I need to copy paste these prompts from my
Mm,
documents to ChatGPTs and organize everything. So I would like to organize it with Zapier, with Google Docs, and like to build some kind of automation stuff, just to not waste time like to have more time, yeah, for my wife, for my family, because yeah, that's the
I like,
plan.
yeah. Welcome, Walter. I'm gonna ask you a question in 1 second. So last time, I'll you can unmute, I think now. Wait a minute.
Okay, cool. I think we're there. I was like,
Okay, yeah,
what?
well, yeah, because last week, there was some people jumping in, and it was like it was disruptive. They started drawing PPs in the middle. It was bad. So so this time we're doing like a hands
More
up thing.
professional.
Yeah, we're trying to test that out. But let me finish
Nice.
with
Yeah,
Alex
go
and
for it.
then bring it up with you. But yeah, Alex, so uh when you sent the reports to your customers, right? Or like potential customers, what was the feedback you got mainly? Like, did they read the report actually?
Yeah, like every report has about 35 to 40 sections, and a few guys told me like it's too much for them because
Yeah.
they just need, like up to 10, not more, because they even don't need the like pitch deck slides, Google Ads,
Mm.
email letter campaign, etc., etc. They just need to be focused on the top 10 useful stuff from reports. So what I had done before, on my landing page, I let people choose which kind of sections they would like to have in the report. In this case, they could pick up to 10 or 20, and I can I cannot spend so much time building something that nobody is going to use.
Yeah,
If
and
they
also presenting all these options to people is still overwhelming. Like if you present 40 options, it's like, have you ever had this problem where you're like, oh, let me choose a movie to watch, and you have like 10,000 movies and you spend like 3 hours not picking a movie, So it's kind of the same thing. So what I recommend, and I'll open it up to the community after, but what I recommend to you is for you to go to those people who said I wanted top 10
Mhm.
and give them a new report with the top 10. Be like, hey, you told me you want a top 10. I made top 10. Do you
Yeah.
have any feedback on those top 10? And then kind of move it on from there. Does anybody have any suggestions for Alex and for Jarek? Welcome, Mike. If you guys want to, or maybe I can just ask to unmute everybody and then everybody can be courteous. Those who have proven their good
Now
behavior
now
can
you are
can chime
admin.
in. Uh, all right, Jarek. Okay, Jarek will be on mute. That's fine. Uh,
Okay.
I hear you, Mike. What's going on, bro?
Hey, as far as the speakers go, I have the same problem, bro. It's a real struggle because you want to put everything into it, and you're like, well, they want this, they want this and that, and then you get like this project you spent a year on, and one wants. I did that with my CRM. The first one I tried to ship,
Uh-huh.
I put task lists, notes, I put everything you could think of underneath the sun on it, and then I didn't do the market. Like, hey, no one bought it. That's why I was like, all right, it's time to reassess the situation here, how I'm doing things.
Yeah, do you have any advice for Alex though? Like
Yeah,
he's
I would keep it simple, to be honest. Like, I would either do a survey and see what features they want
uh
as far as that goes, and then add that to the website, off of like the general census idea. Or I
yeah,
would go and keep it with like the main features and leave it at that. And if they want more, then I can ask for more.
I like it. And Walter, my man,
Yeah.
jump in.
So normally how I do stuff like this is like a little backwards, but I'm also my own customer. Like I use my product. So that's kind of cool. So I try to find like, I'll give you an example. For example, I build secure containers for like enterprise B2B, so that they can like pass their audits and stuff like that. So like there's like one metric that matters. Everything else is fluff, right? The one metric is does the thing pass the audit, yes or no? And everything else is like fluff, right? They don't care about it. Like, are there 20,000 things that go into making that one thing matter? Yeah, but they don't care, right? What matters is when the little security guys come and click the button, does it say pass fail?
Mm-hmm.
So like spending some time to find that like one metric that moves the needle is all that matters in the beginning.
I love it. You know, like just I want to emphasize this point for both my man Alex and for my man Mike is understanding what metric matters to the customer and then making decisions based on that one metric or two metrics. You know, but like three is really the max. It's usually one metric that drives most of the decision making, you know, for people. So kind of zeroing in on that, you know. And Walt, you want to share your projects?
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for setting this up. It's nice to be here. So my name's Walter.
Like Dockers.
Yeah, mostly like Kubernetes stuff. So pretty much Docker.
Alright.
I run a small engineering firm called Merlin's Minds. We build products and solutions for security conscious enterprise, right? So fintech solutions, Web3, banks, governments, stuff like that. And right now I'm working on building out my flagship product, which is called Spell Carver, which is a CI/CD Jenkins alternative for like hybrid cloud. That primarily focuses on meeting requirements for security conscious firms. So
Okay, so it's a CI/CD for what language again? Or
so there's really no language. We support multiple languages, right? So Java, Go, Python, Node, most of the core
so
alternatives.
it's like a Vercel
Vercel
alternative?
for like enterprise.
Vercel for enterprise.
Yeah,
Okay.
like secure Vercel for enterprise, pretty much.
Okay.
We don't do any of the like day two ops type things.
Okay.
That's another part of the firm. But for the most part, it's hey, I've written this application. I need it to be secured so that when Lazarus attacks us, they don't steal all of my Bitcoin. What do we do?
Okay. Is it targeted at Web3 or
So I come large background, but that's one of my targets. So like my two biggest customer bases are companies that have to meet government regulations and companies that are getting attacked by other governments.
okay. Okay. And the regulation, is it like I know there's like SOC2. Is it
Yeah,
is
so
it
it's
that
higher
or
than that,
more?
right? So
Yeah.
like most of that goes into different types of compliance. So it depends. If it's like medical stuff, it's like you got your HIPAA, you got your PII, so that data has to be protected a different way than if it was like a bank, for example.
Yeah. Do you offer all the compliances? Because like it's a
No,
marketing
so I offer the core
question. Yeah.
component, right? So like I don't know what let's just say your app's written in Node, right?
Mhm.
And you've like onboarded a new team and you built this product and you've shown the value to the enterprise, and then you slip it through security, and security's like, hey, you failed all the audits. We can't offer this to our customers. So what do? Right? You go pay a security team to do it, or you onboard to a tool that'll get you 90% of the way there.
Okay. So your target is really security teams in those enterprises.
Yeah, or like really my bread and butter is mid-sized business that's trying to go after bigger contracts that have security compliance needs, right? Because they don't want to go hire a security team. And so running
Okay.
through a tool that will get them there and prove the accreditation has a lot of value for them.
And do they are they educated about this problem? Like,
No,
is
they're
it
not.
like a
That's
they're-
like
okay.
very tough. Very tough. They're not.
Okay, so you have a marketing problem still. So how
Oh
are you
yeah.
addressing that? Like, what are your
Yeah, so most of the time I just get everything through Goodwill, which is kind of crazy. Just enough for me to run the entire company right now, which is why we're in these types of places, right? I don't know anything
yeah?
about marketing. I'm trash. I'm dog water.
But
So
but I'm trying to help you like think about it,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
so
so
like
so most of the time, believe it or not, most of my core customers aren't online. They're like in the 55 to 65 age bracket.
okay,
So most of the connections I make are usually at like traditional conventions for these types of things, or
that's
just
fine. But
from
it's still a matter of identifying exactly who it is and hitting them with the right pitch, right?
yeah,
That
it's
can be
usually
online, that
like
can be anywhere.
they usually don't have a CSO, so it's usually like the chief operations officer or the
Okay.
CEO if the company's small enough.
And what's your pitch? You go up to them, you're like, hey, do you have any deals that are not passing compliance? Or like
No. Normally the way that it works is like they've got sticker shock from the big providers like IBM, VMware,
Mhm.
and like Red Hat. And
So
so
they are problem aware. They are looking for
yeah, they know
solutions.
the problem exists. They don't know that there's alternatives. That makes sense.
Okay.
Because they're usually
Okay.
vendor locked in with those three or Microsoft. And so competing with those guys is usually tough.
But you can hit them with like a super base, like how
Yeah,
they
that's what spell
started.
carver is more or less, right?
Yeah.
The issue with that is like when you provide compliance. So I have like there's like secure supply chain, super important for this type of work, right? And so like when you provide the secure supply chain, you sign with your engine that you validated that this was true. And so
No, I mean
you assume a lot of risk on the
when I said
compliance
super
side.
base, I meant how they marketed themselves by positioning themselves as an alternative to Firebase.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. That's
So
the
so
primary
you gotta
goal.
find who those you said there's three providers, IBM or whatever, and the people who are, you know that get sticker shock. Who's the number one guy?
The number one guy right now is Chain Guard.
And that's IBM.
They're a startup in the space.
No, I mean like the
Oh yeah,
sticker
so the
shock guy.
number one player would be Microsoft.
Microsoft, and what's the name of their product?
Their product is like their like secure FedRAMP offering, right? It's
Whatever,
just like
secure,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
Microsoft Security, let's call it.
yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
If you go to these guys who have these problems, right? They get the sticker shock and they're like, oh, I tried to buy Microsoft Security and
Right.
it's ridiculous. You can go in with like, hey, we're Microsoft Security, but 100 times
Different.
cheaper
Yeah.
or something
Right.
like positioning your product against something known is a good way of overcoming a lot of objections right off the
Yeah.
bat because they can now imagine what it means to get your product, and I want to open it up to welcome David, uh open it up to the community. Like if you guys have any suggestions on how Walt, do you prefer Walter or Walt?
Walt's great.
Walt, yeah, my man. Walt Disney is my number one guy, so good. Anyways, but yeah, my man Walt, what's the name of your platform again?
It's called Spell Carver,
Spell, like casting spells?
like casting spells. Yeah.
Okay, Spell Harbor. Do you guys have any suggestions on how to market Spell Harbor? Like, and Dave, you can unmute if you want to say anything. Uh,
I just wanted to say I forgot the name. Like I just heard the competitor name, which was Jangard apparently.
Yeah.
What was the one from you?
So I'm sorry. Are you saying what's my product or what's their product?
Yeah, what's your product?
My product's called Spell Carver.
Spell cover.
Spell Harbor. That's what it is.
Spell Carver. Yeah, it's not
Oh,
public
Spell
yet, so you won't
Carver.
find it online.
Okay, Spell
Car.
Carver.
Yeah,
So is there a website?
not yet. No, this one's private.
Oh, is there? It's hard to market something that's
Yeah,
not
no.
public.
So like I may have missed the overall tone of the call, right? Like Zayn said, "Hey, what are you doing?" So I just kind of jumped in there. Like if there's a security or excuse me, a marketing like roast going on, like I don't have been straight prepared for that.
No, he wants ideas on like because he's saying he's like my product is not a product that my target customer buys online. because they're like 55, 65-year-old, enterprise owners that are playing golf and going to conventions and doing like old
I
school
get that,
everything.
but yeah, I get that. But sometimes, well, I hope I won't talk too long, but sometimes it's not
No,
as
talk as
easy.
long as you want. Like we
Okay.
wanna, we
Yeah,
want people
I
here.
have to go earlier today, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'll make it as concise as possible still. So the thing is, what I found, and that's like more of a general advice, but I think it fits here, is um people forget that even if like something specific might not be hitting your target group, it might be like playing pool. So when you play pool, you hit the ball and you might not hit the hole, but you might come closer to it. So it goes poof, poof.
Mm.
And what I'm saying with that is more often than ever in my career, I have been the man in the middle to approach these 50, 60-year-old people. And the reason why I asked for your website is um, we are currently, and that is the best example right now, actually. I'm currently responsible for a Kubernetes cluster. And we have corporate people, and those corporate people might be all those might not check out your website, but I will. So
Right.
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
something you must not forget, that there might be other people that pinpoint to this and then also have to have something where they will check out and go like, okay, this sounds reasonable for something I would propose, but quite honestly, tell me whatever you want. I will never propose you to anyone if you tell me what you have is private. It can be as good as whatever. I won't.
Oh no,
So
this is great advice, right? So like my website, so Spellcarver is the new offering, right? Like so
Mhm.
it's been being developed for the past year and some change.
Mhm.
merlinsmice.com is my website. I'm a trash web dev. Please roast me. I need to fix this. We're aware. And so normally the app gets sold through the consulting services, right? So like the general availability release with websites and everything is coming early next month. The team and I have been working to get this out the door. It's just like we're not there yet. So
No, it's great. Dave kind of hit the nail on the head. Well, it's like, even though sometimes your target might not be as savvy as you think, they have savvy advisors,
sure.
and trying to come up with, yeah, you need to hit them at all angles. You need to have the pitch for
Smart.
the convention. You need to have the website that kind of does its job, submit every Friday if you need help with that,
Right.
and it's definitely, you can't skimp on anything, even
Sure.
though, you might have this, idea where it's like, well, they don't do that, but you don't know who they're talking to, like Dave's saying.
Oh, this is
Uh,
fun. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
yeah, next week we're gonna hit it again. Thank you so much, everybody,
well,
for
I'm
joining.
still here, man.
Oh, Dave, Rob, please share updates.
Well, yeah. So, well, it's been a bit busy these days. As always, it's always busy. I said last time I'm grinding all day, and I do. It's just like a lot of things that have to be managed, and I'm still trying to balance them. But um, there's more of a clear goal. Like last week, I said like I need both of the things, like the consultancy and the product development. But it is very clear it is very clear for me that it has to come in a balance that actually allows me to do product development. And um so the great news in this is that, and this comes back to what I told Walt actually. I noticed from experience that some things come delayed. Some things also don't come like in as cause of the action that you did. Because let me tell you what my goal is and let me tell you what happened in between. So one of my goals is to actually charge that's the end goal. That's not yet what I'm charging, but actually the end goal is to charge $500 per hour. And
Okay.
that sounds a lot, but it's
It's
actually
not.
reason. Yeah, it's
You can
also
do it now,
action.
bro.
Yeah,
Like it'll take the same effort for you to sell the
yeah, that's
$500
true.
offer than any other offer.
That's true. And like for some people though it sounds like a lot, but it's a very reasonable amount because the thing is that people told me so often like you saved me, even if it was just like a weekend, like that was like a small range. Like one guy said like you saved me the whole week, and I'm like, why am I even like why am I not
Mm,
charging more if it talk to me for 1 hour, I saved you a week? What the fuck?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so and what I had now is basically someone come up to me with a very interesting challenge. It wasn't necessarily super based, but it came actually to me due to my super based content and said like we need more like Postgres experience, and we need to scale from 25,000 entries per day to 250 million per day.
Jeez.
And I said, sounds like a challenge. I'm taking it. So easy. Yeah.
Mm,
So, and the thing is that that's not the 500 per hour. That's the 250 still. But it just like it's an interesting project, so I definitely wanted to take it. But you have to put this into comparison, right? Where I started off at beginning of the year, I was like, how do I get people for paying me $100 per hour? And that's like the usual rate most of the time. But it was like I was like, dude, I'm an expert in this field, and people just gain so much from this. So my what I've grown in, what I wanted to share is like also communicating clearly what I do and what I don't. It's just the difficulty lies in getting the client to talk to me. But once they talk to me, they realize, because I tell them my goal is not to spend as much time with you as I can. My goal is to consult you and make myself redundant. And that's why I'm not charging 100, but right now still 250, but
I
it's
still
soon to
think,
be.
bro, that value proposition sounds good from a like linear perspective, but when you think
Mm,
about positioning and all of that,
yeah,
you know, you just want to be extreme luxury. Like that you want
yeah,
to
true,
communicate all of that with price.
true.
That's it. That's the only communication device
That's
for all
true.
of that objection stuff. If you
Yeah,
charge $5,000 a phone call, not $500 a phone call,
yeah,
you're communicating very clearly that I work on very valuable problems.
yeah,
All this low-level problems, I don't even want to think about, you know?
right.
So you
And
need to
that's,
find that big
yeah,
price point that hits people, straight like $2,000 an hour,
right.
$1,000 an hour, not 500, 250, all of this
And,
stuff.
and it's a good point to say like that the price is the communication here. Because it's like it's really, as you say, like I don't wanna solve low level problems. There's enough people, like you don't need me to solve low level problems. You can also like book someone for $30 an hour from Fiverr to solve low level problems. You don't need me for that.
Yeah, Walt
So
has a
yeah.
good idea. Like, you want to share that, Walt?
Yeah, so I'm on the other end, David. Like the way I do this, and very similar to what you're saying, like how do I get them on the phone? I normally don't get them on the phone. LinkedIn is my like number one where I close B2B,
Mm,
and I'll see a post, I'll just comment, I'll be like, hey, I see you're having a problem with this. What's going on? That's
yeah,
literally it. They usually gush about the problem, and then I'll send over a document with like, hey, this is what I cover if you want to subscribe or whatever. And it's literally just a Stripe link, or if they want to do
nice.
ACH, we just figure that out and
Make it easy for them.
give them no reason to say no, and like just nudge once a week if they don't get back to you. But like
Yeah,
eventually, like on my end, like the problems it sounds like you're solving, those companies probably have large budgets. And so
yeah,
you can be like,
true.
hey, it's $500 an hour, or I can sell you a $20,000 package at a 30% discount. And they're like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, now we're talking. Right.
yeah, true.
Yeah. That's exactly what you need to be thinking about is how
Yeah.
how do I set a price that is gonna excite the fuck out of me,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
And
like
I got to jump in just a second, but I do want to give David just one more thing
Mhm.
that I see on my eyes. So like the thing you're saying about I can't do the or I'm struggling with consulting and delivery. I'm in the same boat, and my solution has been like, cool. Well, if I can like deliver this crazy $500 an hour experience, right? At the end, I normally talk to the delivery lead or whoever, and I'm like, hey, if you guys want a support package, so you don't have to wait in queue again, I've got a lot of people in line. This way, if you have a problem, I'll hop back in and we'll get you a little discount. And that's usually like I try to think like if I were to hire a junior to come study with me, to become my understudy, what would I need to pay them? And then just literally start bringing them with you everywhere. And
Mm.
then you can start handing off more and more and more of this to them and still charge that $500 an hour premium. And that gives you
True.
more time to build the dev team for the product.
True.
It's more
Yeah.
upfront, but that's how I do it. And then I've got a training funnel to get people into
Mm.
this
That's
sequence.
true. That's
That's
true.
cool. But yeah, you also Dave, like you also want to work with people that like for example, like I fired all my clients, right? See you. Well, thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anyways, Dave, but yeah, like I fired all my clients. One client was like, no, I'm not leaving you. You give me so much value. I really appreciate working with you. And I like working with her too, you
Yeah.
know? So I was like, all right, I don't want to charge per month. I don't want to charge per hour. I want to charge per project. Because like I know the kind of scope of
Yeah.
work, and I'm like, and I gave her a ridiculous price. I told her, hey, I'm gonna give you a ridiculous price. You're gonna be offended. She's like,
Yeah.
fine. I did it. She's doing like 2 projects a month now, you know, and it's like consistent work all the
Nice.
time.
Nice.
So you want to think about like what is that project scope that you're comfortable with? Because like another thing is when I designed my thing, I was like, I don't want to do grunt work. I don't want to do research, because this is all stuff the client can do, and it's better for them to do it, not me.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
So I my package in consulting, the way I like this client I'm working with, right? She needs to produce like a series of videos every month or something like that, or like 2 series or whatever. So I'm like, I'm not writing the content. You're writing all the content. I'm editing because that's what I'm good at. I can give you
Yeah.
strategic direction on sequencing. I can help you with the branding. I can work with your video editor to make sure everything comes out. And I give her like the things that I want to do, and it's it's all wrapped up in that one package. And I'm like, it's this price. So you need to find a project like a comprehensive thing that they can get out of you. Like at the end of it, it's
Mhm.
value, not just the consulting thing.
Yeah.
And then charge per project something you're happy, not not like because I understand this. Like I tried doing productized service, it doesn't work for consulting because uh, any month they feel like they're not getting enough value, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
you know what? I want to cancel this, and then you're like, well, should I refund the last month that they didn't use anything? And it becomes messy, right? So per project, even per hour, like if they're coming to you for that, charge a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
You've earned it. You've wrote a book. You have all the experience. You're building. You're active in the community. You have a YouTube. You have everything. There's nothing that's stopping you from you know setting whatever $5,000 an hour even. I'm pretty sure companies with those kinds of problems don't mind paying that, or $2,000 an hour or whatever it is that's like you think is this will get me through. Like let's say you get a client every 3 weeks, right? So it's like what will make me happy for 3 weeks is the price you want
Right.
to set.
Right. Exactly. So that's the idea. The idea is actually exactly as you said it. Like, what price do I need to pull up to still get like the not just like because I might be wrong here, but there's some amount of price where I might just hit the corporate world, and I just figured how much I hate the corporate world again, yet again. And the more interesting projects are most often in the startup world. And this is some balance I have to find, but still in the startup world, you have investors and stuff like that. So it
Yeah,
should be a
startup or
price.
seed. If you get like a seed stage startup,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, right.
you
And it
you still
should
can
be
charge three
it
thousand
should
dollars. Boom.
right. So it should be something where I can, like, I always say that, like, I don't mind people wanting to get rich, but my goal is not to get rich. That's just me being honest. My definition of rich is being independent in time. So, or with regards to time, and that requires charging a big amount of money, because I want to do stuff that I love doing, and this requires me to charge. Say, for me, it would be a big win charging, as you said, like starting tomorrow, charging 500 an hour, because that would get me easily through my rent and whatever, and I could do what I want, and I could still like kind of get the
I would make it 1,000, bro. Like, to be completely
Mm.
honest with you, I wouldn't. 500 is a little still. If it was me and I know your skill set,
yeah.
I would do 2,000 or 3,000 and the free 10-minute calls that you make public. So
Mm.
it gets you marketing. You're like, this is going to be public. If you want free, it's going to be public. And you do a lot of those, build your brand up with that, even 5-minute calls. Be like, hey, you want to jump on a call for 5 minutes or 10 minutes? It's free, but it's going to be on Twitter. And
Yeah.
you just publish those on, you don't have to publish it to flood your YouTube. You don't want to flood your YouTube, you know? Or if you can separate it as shorts, maybe that can be your short segment. But I would just invest more in branding. You've already done the book, I would do a lot of branding stuff for free. And when it comes time for customers who want to get you, it's gonna be expensive, bro. And it's like you're like, oh well, I don't feel good charging $3,000 an hour. Okay, charge them $3,000 for an hour phone call plus text support for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They can text you or email you with follow-up questions or whatever.
Sure,
And
that's something I would feel more comfortable with, like, or even like I'll invite you to my Slack for like 4 weeks and you can annoy me there or whatever.
yeah, or exactly, I'll send you a loom, so you don't have to have the conversation. Be like, you send me the problem, I'll solve it to you, take a video, and I'll send it back because you have the setup, you have the mic, you have everything, so you
Yeah,
can record. They can send you the materials, whatever, and
yeah.
you just give them like asynchronous video support for 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah, Alex, you can jump in, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's so motivational speech. It's awesome. It's awesome because it's ideal world for me, like to be independent, not only with money, but with my own time, because I won't spend my free time working on my own products, try some ideas, something like that, coding every night. And my big problem is my English. I'm not confident with my English, and I don't know how to talk to customers. It's really huge. It's I don't know. It's my pain, and I don't know. Being a developer like for 20 years, when I work in my garage, I missed this opportunity to talk to people and to try to sell them or to help them solve their problems. And yeah, when I try to talk to strangers, like I'm not focusing on their solution. I try to present myself, and I don't know how to switch my mind, my brain, to be more focused on the people problems and to deliver them value. I don't know how to explain. It's a bit
You gotta think
complicated.
like a healer, not
Mm-hmm.
not a salesperson. That's kind of the biggest mistake people make is they think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sales, and it's like I'm selling snake oil and I'm trying to trick you and whatever. And you want to think I'm a doctor, and my job is to hear people talk about their pains and understand the source of the pain. So when people have whatever, appendicitis or whatever weird name of the problem, and someone comes and is like, oh, my tummy hurts. You know, you don't want to hit them with, oh, well, do you have pain in your lower third, whatever technical speech? You want to tell them, hey, oh, does the left side hurt? Well, great. And then you walk them from their awareness to this is the problem and this is how I'm gonna help you. So it's about thinking like that, like a doctor, not like a salesman. Like,
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I keep in mind this idea, but when I try to talk to people, I forget fuck everything. I forget about it. I just try to be polite, to be kind. I don't know, and I don't know.
maybe
It's
stop being polite
But
and kind.
yeah, I think, but that is it. It sounds very familiar to me. And I've people. I'm not sure. People probably cannot imagine. I've been extrovert, yes, but not in front of a lot of people. So the fact that I'm doing YouTube videos, um, and I'm doing it nowadays, I'm doing that by like it's easy going for me because I just do them, is all experience, and this experience is really just so what I'm hearing here is basically it's just like it's a learning path. So with regards, so say like first things first, with regards to your English, um I think you can just do like grab someone and like have, for example, what I'm doing is I have one guy from London which I meet every week. Um well, not in person but online, and we talk for more than an hour if we can, and that helps. So that is something you just have to do it. Like there's no other way than getting better in English than just doing
yeah,
it, right? So that's one thing. And the thing what Said said with like identifying problems and stuff like that is kind of the same thing. You have to, for example, you say you forget it in the call or whatever. Most of the times, at least for me, I'm not sure how it is for you, it is remote. So make yourself like on the screen, make yourself some notes of things you should focus on and look at them, because this is what I do as well. Um, not for making sure that I don't talk bullshit, but for making sure that I fix myself onto the importance of the task.
Yeah,
And I
and
think that really helps if you do that often and over again.
100%.
it's like yeah.
Just he's right. Like Umair also wants to speak. Welcome, Umair. I'll let you on in a second. And I shared my sales script. That's a good, diagnosis script. But it's also what you want to be doing, is because sometimes you come into a sales call and your goal is like, I want that sale. And
Yeah.
that's not a good
Yeah.
place to be. What you want to be doing is, he is not qualified to buy from me. Let me ask him questions to see if he is a qualified buyer. That's what you want to be looking at. You want to be trying your best to be like, no, you're not for me. You know who you're good for? Your Dave can solve your problem. Nope. Mike can solve your problem. Nah, it's not me. Zaid can solve your problem. Because when you demonstrate that ability that you are not aligned with me,
Mm-hmm.
it shows that you're an expert in your field. You're like, hey, I only solve these appendicitis. You have appendicitis? That's what I solve. And you ask questions to go and find out if they have appendicitis. If all of a sudden they have like heart problems, you don't want to be the guy to be like, you got heart problems? Well, come over here. I do heart problems too. You don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? Anyways,
Yeah.
Omar, I think you can unmute now.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's a good point.
Yeah. Hey guys, first of all,
What's
and
going on?
second of all, so Alexander, to speak about your shyness part, I can relate to that a lot because I also found myself in the same position when I started my AI agency. When we first got like our our client that was worth over like 9 figures. Man, I was shitting myself before we got into that meeting, and I was like so shy that I let my partners do the talking for me. That's how shy I was. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like I know exactly what to tell you, etc. But the one thing that I do know what helped me get over that anxiousness and the shyness is just doing it. The first time you take a meeting, you're going to be shy. It's going to be hard. You're going to be nervous. But eventually, over time, as you take more and more meetings, it will slowly, gradually go down less and less.
100%. 100%.
That's all I have to say.
But
Yeah.
share, bro, like Omer, I know you've been doing some cold calls and some sales stuff. You want to show some of your journey in the past couple of weeks building?
Yeah, sure. Let's see, where do I start? I mean, in terms of SaaS, last week when you guys told me that I just need to be ruthless, just go out at it, send as much DMs as possible. I was just trying to send like my goal is 100 plus DMs a day, and out of those 100 DMs, I'm getting like 2 or 3 responses, and out of those 2 or 3 responses, I might have a meeting booked here and there. But I think I do need to make my DMs a bit better. One mistake that I realize I'm making is that I'm talking about my product too much. Rather, I need to talk about the customer and what their problem is and how our product can help their problem.
Yeah, I'm
So
not a
that's
big fan of cold outreach, but
Mm.
if you are gonna do cold outreach, you need to not do the 100 DMs thing, because you gotta invest in research. Like, Walt was here, you missed him, but he was like, I look at people, see their problems. Once I identify, like I was telling Alex just now, like the doctor, you want to identify signs of appendicitis, right? So you go research, you find somebody who has those signs. He's talking about the pain points. He doesn't know the problem, right? Because if he knew the problem, he'd solve it. But they're talking about the pains, and you can identify those pains. Then you DM them. Be like, hey, I saw you talk about ABC. I'm
Mm.
solving ABC. Do you mind if we chat? Boom. You're gonna convert way more if you spend a little bit of time up front learning about who you're DMing.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So, also to add from my experience, not myself doing cold calls, but receiving or cold emails. And it's like the it's no guarantee that I answer, but there is a guarantee when I don't answer. Is like, hey, you also use Superbase, want to know more? So something like that. So there would be a guarantee I won't answer. And even if someone just goes like, Superbase and it can solve this and that, I won't answer. Now comes the question, when do answer? And that is when people actually show that they have put in research. And then there was one guy just recently. I'm not saying I'm responding. I'm not sure yet, but he was basically saying like, dude, you have like 25 years of experience. Close, it's 24, but it's close. Um, and he actually pinpointed to my products, of which one is Unglitch, which is basically a React library, but whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. The fact, like all of what he's written down was outstanding with regards to the last outreaches that I had, like for probably 5 years, because there was only topics about me. It was all about me. So if you show people that you've done your research and that you know stuff about them, for example, I don't know what would be interesting for a company, but I saw that you have like, I don't know, if you're hiring SaaS or whatever, I saw that you're still missing like 3 of your roles and you're missing them for like 6 months now, and like I saw that you really tried on LinkedIn, like stuff like I did my research, then people are very like that. I would say, I if to put a number on it, like there's a 60 to 70% chance that they will answer.
Yeah. Alex, hop in, bro.
Yeah, I just want to add, absolutely guarantee, because when I try to call DM people like, would you like to try my product, and nobody answered me. But when I try to figure out, is there something they working on at the moment and how can I help them, I try to mention their product first, and my conversion rate was increased from 0 to 50%. 5 of 10 people start answering me and start asking like, what's your product about? How can you help me? And I get my first 10 clients like in 5 days.
Mm.
Before I spent 2 weeks and I was no fucking answers at all. And yeah, it really works. It really works. It's great point. Yeah, thank you, David. It's amazing. It just works.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you so much for his advice. This helps a lot.
Yeah, bro. You know, that's what these calls are for.